And on to more breaking news coming in. This one in relation to the Kashmir files, where in which even as it narrates the heart-wrenching and gut-wrenching story of the forced exodus of Kashmiri Pandits, was labelled as propaganda at the 53rd International Film Festival of India in Goa on Monday. In fact, speaking during the closing ceremony of the event, Israeli filmmaker and jury head Nadav Lapid said that many were shocked by the movie and even termed it vulgar. So these were the remarks that were made by the Israeli filmmaker and the jury head Nadav Lapid, who called the movie as vulgar, and this even as the movie narrates the horror of the Kashmiri exodus, which happened in the 90s. The Israeli filmmaker terming it as disturbing and saying that he's shocked by the Kashmir files, adding that the film felt like propaganda and a vulgar movie seemed inappropriate for an artistic competitive section. These were the remarks that were made by the Israeli filmmaker Nadav Lapid that has drawn widespread condemnation. Let's listen into those remarks that were made by the Israeli filmmaker.
And evoked vivid discussions. We were, all of us, disturbed and shocked by the 15th film, by the movie Kashmir Files, that felt to us like a propaganda, vulgar movie, inappropriate for an artistic competitive section of such a prestigious film festival. I feel totally comfortable to share openly these feelings here with you on stage, since the spirit that we felt in the festival can surely accept also a critical discussion, which is essential for art and for life. Thanks a lot.
So there you heard, these were the remarks that were made by the IFFI jury head, calling the Kashmir Files as vulgar propaganda movie on stage. And this, of course, has drawn widespread condemnation from across the board, from Ashok Pandit to even Anupam Kher, who've taken to Twitter to call out such remarks that were made by the Israeli filmmaker. We'll try and get a few reactions as well, but these were the remarks that were made by the IFFI jury head, which is in fact the International Film Festival of India head in Goa on Monday, while he was speaking during the closing ceremony of the event, in which the jury head Nadav Lapid said that many were shocked by the movie and even termed it as vulgar. Now this of course indicates that this could in most probability be a propaganda by the lobbyists. In fact, the plight of Kashmiri Pandits, even as there is no denial to the fact that there was Kashmiri exodus, there was genocide in 1989 when 95% of Kashmiri Pandits were forced to migrate. Kashmiri Pandit women were abducted, raped and shot dead. There you have the Israeli filmmaker who's in fact called the movie as vulgar and said that this movie shocked him. These were the remarks that were made by him at the closing ceremony, where he said that the film felt more like a propaganda, vulgar movie, and that it seemed inappropriate for an artistic competitive section, and that he's disturbed and shocked by the Kashmir Files. We have Piyush Ori also joining us live. Piyush, the remarks, of course, have drawn widespread condemnation, right from Ashok Pandit to even Anupam Kher. Take us through the reactions coming in on these remarks.
So yes, good morning. And irrespective of the massive box office success which Kashmir Files had drawn after it released earlier this year, there has been a lot of controversy with IFFI saying that this movie has peddled lies and this movie has peddled propaganda. So yes, definitely there's been a lot of controversy relating to Kashmir Files about how Kashmiri Pandits were exploited by a so-called Islamists over there in the valley in the year 1989, which led to their exodus, which was displayed for the first time by a filmmaker. And now, even after the box office success, the IFFI jury has said that this movie has peddled lies and there is propaganda in it. Now, this has led to a far-left condemnation by likes of Ashok Pandit and Anupam Kher, who have been Kashmiri Pandits and who have said that this is nothing but a propaganda to defame a movie which has been accepted by a large public in our country. Back in the studio.
If you could, Piyush, stay with us. Just once again, give us more details as to the kind of remarks that were made by the Israeli filmmaker, who's known to be a Palestine supporter as well, as what we are given to understand. Just take us through once again through those remarks that were made by this filmmaker.
So yes, Samisha, what this Israeli filmmaker has said is that this movie is nothing but a sort of lie and propaganda, and this has been done deliberately to create unrest among the country. Now, this is maybe his views, and what we've also been told is that despite being an Israeli, he is supporting the Palestinian cause. So yes, this may be his personal views, but since he has displayed this on public forum, and since he has displayed it on a forum which has been been a forum for releasing movies, this has led to a far-led confrontation. This has led to a far-led condemnation by likes of Anupam Kher and Ashok Pandit, who in the past have also taken a strong stance on Kashmir issue, who in the past have also taken a strong stance on the exploitation of Kashmiri Pandits. So yes, it is now going to be interesting to see about how much condemnation is this remark by this Israeli filmmaker going to lead in our country. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Piyush, thank you for taking us through those details. We'll keep coming back to you as we track more reactions, which is, of course, expected as widespread condemnation is coming in after those remarks were made by the Israeli filmmaker. Andhra Chief